Hey everybody, it's Jeff from New York, and today we're heading back to Las Vegas, fabulous Las Vegas, and it's going to be my fourth trip since the pandemic started, and it'll be interesting to see what the town's up to now. It'll be interesting to see this city come back to life, and I'm still going to be careful. I do wear my mask in elevators and other enclosed areas, but I'm fully vaccinated, and I trust most of the people, I think it's about 70% right now, will be vaccinated in Las Vegas, as well as the rest of the country right now. Like I said, I've been there 4 times since the pandemic started, or actually 3 times. This is my 4th visit. I stayed at the Flamingo, the Mirage, and the Cosmopolitan, and nothing happened again. Just, you gotta be careful, that's all. I am on the New Jersey Turnpike, flying out of Newark Airport. That's where I always fly out of, Liberty International Airport. And I'm flying on Spirit Airline. I usually fly either Spirit or United. Today I'm flying on Spirit. Right now it's approximately 6:30 in the morning. My flight leaves at 8:30, so I'm doing good here. And I'm staying until late Friday night. That's usually how I plan Vegas vacations. I leave early on a Sunday and come home late on a Friday. That gives me 6 full days, and I avoid the busy weekend and the expensive weekend as well. I just parked in the long-term parking, and I'm going to hop on the air tram, which is here at Newark Airport. It takes you to all 3 terminals. It's free service, and usually they come every, 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, enough chit-chat. Let's get on that big bird and head to Vegas. When I fly Spirit, the flight's usually pretty cheap, so I spend a little extra and get one of these big comfy chairs up front, kind of like first class on a budget. It's a 5-hour flight, so definitely worth it. This is Mitzi, the Rubber Ducky Showgirl, who shows up on all my Vegas videos. As most of you know, there are hidden mascots, or some of you call them Easter eggs, in my videos. Mitzi shows up in all the Vegas ones. Sometimes she's easy to spot, other times she's quite elusive, so keep your eyes open while watching the video. If you spot her, note the time in the comments below, and if you're the first one, you'll get a shout out on an upcoming video. Shout out to Pac-Man, who found Clarice the Crown in the Golden Nugget Deck Bar video in Atlantic City, and Wise Malik, who found Clarice at the Hard Rock Room and Pool Tour video in Atlantic City. It was early in the morning, so most of the people chose to pull the shades down. It was kind of dark. I decided to watch a movie. Shout out to the first person who can name this movie I'm watching. My flight attendant, Tangeray, told me the flight crew, Captain Morgan and Jack Daniel, will allow me to video the cockpit when the plane landed. I was very excited. Captain Morgan asked me not to touch anything. Hey! What does this big red button do? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to fabulous Las Vegas. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, please hit that subscribe button and smash that thumbs up. It really does help the channel out. I came here to Vegas knowing that it was going to be crowded and that Uber and Lyft were having a very difficult time dealing with all the people. So I rented a car for the week, which turned out to be a very expensive proposition because, well, they're hard to get as well. By the way, I probably mentioned it before, the slot machines at the airport? Tightest in town. Just throw your money in the trash can next to you. You'll have the same result. The car rental desks are not in this building. You have to take a shuttle to the car rental building. Good news is they're regular sized buses, and there must have been 3 or 4 of them just lined up waiting. It's, from what I understand, always like that. However, little did I know at this point what I was in store for in this town with regards to crowds and lines. Coming up here is a model of the brand new Resorts World opening up shortly here in town. As you'll see in future videos coming out shortly, this town was extremely crowded and very understaffed. But like most people I've met here in town this week, if you go in with a good attitude, you come out a happy camper. Unfortunately, I'm missing the Resorts World opening by about 2 weeks, but while I'm here, I'm going to take a walk around the place and see if I can walk around the grounds and do a video on that. Let's see, I took my car to a tram, which took me to a plane, which is taking me to a bus, which is taking me back to another car. The only thing missing in this equation is a boat. Good luck finding that in this town. Like I said, there were plenty of shuttle buses taking people to the car rental place, so there was really no big issue, and the ride itself is less than 5 minutes. Don't forget to check out my book, 50 Attractions and Many Tips When Visiting Las Vegas. It's down at the bottom in the description of this video that you're watching. It's only $4.99, instantly downloaded to your computer, tons of pictures and fantastic tips if you plan on visiting Sin City. I rented this car several days ago, but I still had to wait quite a while for it. And those of you who know me well enough know that I'm a mass transportation type of guy, so this whole car rental thing is kinda new to me. I think what concerned me the most is that extra insurance really necessary? I know my current policy will cover any damage that happens to the car, as well as any roadside assistance I might need. But I have heard nightmare stories of bringing the car back scratched and then they charge you the same amount every day while the car is getting repaired. Some kind of loss of use thing. Just about every insurance policy will not cover that. I know mine doesn't. And if the car is in the shop for a week, well, you're paying another week for that car. I wanted to have peace of mind during my visit, so I got suckered into it. Did I mention this car is already costing me a fortune? Welcome to Las Vegas. Another thing to consider when renting a car is you're most likely going to have to pay for parking at your hotel, whether you're a guest or not. So keep that in mind. That could be easily $20, $25, up to $35 a night here in Las Vegas. As I said earlier, I'm staying at the Venetian, and I know the Venetian and the Palazzo currently are not charging for parking, so that's a good thing. By the way, recording while you're driving can be very distracting. But I got that extra insurance now. No worries. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look out the left side of the windows, you'll see we're coming upon the iconic Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas sign. We're heading north here on Las Vegas Boulevard, otherwise known as the Strip, and the Venetian is pretty much on the northern end of the Las Vegas Strip, so we're going to travel through most of the Strip on our ride to the Venetian right now. There's not many of you, but for those of you who aren't familiar with the Las Vegas Strip, we just passed the Mandalay Bay on the left, coming up to the Luxor, that pyramid building, and also on the left is going to be the Excalibur after the Luxor. The intersection we're coming upon here is Tropicana Avenue, and the hotels and casinos at this intersection include the Excalibur in New York on the left-hand side, and then the Tropicana and MGM Grand on the right-hand side. This is where I would normally play Elvis's Viva Las Vegas, but, well, I can't do that, so you're going to get a quick tour. On the left there at the New York, you can see Lady Liberty as well as the roller coaster at the New York Hotel and Casino. And on the right-hand side, you have Leo the Lion from the MGM Grand. Leo, by the way, just got a really good polishing a couple months ago. Most, not all, but most of the hotels and casinos on the left-hand side belong to MGM, and most of the ones on the right-hand side belong to Caesars. There are exceptions, no need to leave a comment below. Coming up on the left is the Park MGM, the Waldorf Astoria, the Aria, and the Vidara. Those buildings that are leaning on the left are actually called the Veer buildings, and they're condominiums. That odd structure in front of the Veer buildings, as if the Veer buildings weren't odd enough, is the Shops at Crystals, a mall that's very hoity-toity. And those two towers on the left are the Cosmopolitan Hotel and Casino, and directly across the street, Planet Hollywood. We pretty much drove through the southern end of the Las Vegas Strip, and now we're heading into Central Strip. And with very few exceptions, it's almost impossible to cross this strip directly. You need to go above it to cross it. There are barriers all along the Las Vegas Strip that prevent you from actually directly crossing the street. And again, there are intersections along the strip that are the exception to this rule. Coming up on the right, where the Eiffel Tower and the big balloon is the Paris Hotel and Casino. And on the left-hand side, you have the world-famous Bellagio, where the fountains are. There are videos here on the New York channel on all of these places, and brand new ones will be coming out shortly. And coming up on the right is Bally's, and on the left you have Caesar's Palace. Hey! You said all the Caesar hotels were on the right-hand side. Ugh, there's one in every crowd. Coming up on the right is the Cromwell, a small boutique-ish kind of hotel and casino here on the Las Vegas Strip. That structure sticking out at the bottom is Giada's restaurant. Great views of the Strip as well as the Bellagio fountains. And here we have the Flamingo Hotel and Casino on the right-hand side and Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay's restaurant, on the left. Obviously, I'm not getting great detail of all these places that I'm just driving by here, but I will do videos during the day and evening of the Las Vegas Strip by walking, and those videos will be coming out shortly. This is kind of like the Cliff Notes version. Do they still make Cliff Notes? I just figured, hey, I got a car, I got a camera in my hand, and I got some good insurance. Coming up on the right-hand side between the Flamingo and the Link is the Link Promenade, a hub, a center hub of a lot of activity here on the Strip. Lots of shopping, restaurants, and clubs here. It's also how you get to the High Roller Observation Wheel. And like I said, that's the Link Hotel and Casino, another small boutique-ish hotel and casino here on the Las Vegas Strip. And across the street on the left-hand side are the Forum shops at Caesar's Palace, a huge mall that's more mainstream than the shops at Crystal's, which we passed earlier. And coming up next here on the right-hand side is Harrah's, and on the left-hand side we'll be coming upon the Mirage, home of that famous volcano show. I've always liked the Mirage. It's got so much to offer. It's got that volcano show up front. It's got the Siegfried and Roy Sanctuary out back. It's got one of the best pools on the Strip. Not the best, but one of the best. Great hotel and casino. The only thing is I was a little disappointed in the room. It was a little worn down. This is one of the older hotels on the Strip, but all in all, it's a great place. And of course, there's a room tour and pool tour of the Mirage here on the New York channel. And coming up on the right is a McDonald's and Casino Royale, which is actually part of a Best Western out back. Yes, you can lodge and eat cheaply here on the Las Vegas Strip. Or I should say cheaper. In a moment, we'll be pulling into the Venetian and Palazzo complex, which is where I'm staying for the week. But if we went further north on the Strip, the northern end of the Strip, we would have the Treasure Island, which is on the left-hand side. You can see it from here. Followed by the Fashion Show Mall. And then a brand new place, which has yet to open. It's opening in a few weeks, Resorts World. And then you'll have Circus and the Stratosphere. And on the right-hand side, after the Palazzo, you would have the Wynn, the Encore, and the Sahara. And that's pretty much it for the hotels and casinos along the Strip. There are many hotels and casinos off the Strip. One of the closest ones is the Virgin. It just opened up not too long ago, and that's a little bit further south. We passed it. It's about 2 blocks off the Strip. And further north, 2 blocks off the Strip, you'd find the Westgate Hotel and Casino right next to the convention center. That's where Elvis made his big comeback. My very first stay here several years ago on the Las Vegas Strip was at the Palazzo. The Palazzo and Venetian are part of the same complex. It used to be the largest hotel complex in the world. Now I believe it's like number 3 or 4, with most of the larger ones in Asia. I think most people would agree there are 3 properties on the Las Vegas Strip that are truly, really luxurious, and that would be the Bellagio, which we passed a little bit further south, the Venetian and Palazzo here, which we're pulling into, and the Encore and Wynn, which is just a little bit north of here on the same side of the street. And quite honestly, I could never afford to stay here at the Venetian or Palazzo, but I always keep my eyes open for deals, and once in a while, more so than the Bellagio and definitely more so than the Encore and Wynn, once in a while at the Palazzo and Venetian, you're going to find a good deal. And that's usually when I grab it, and I plan my time around that. Every room here is a split-level suite with nothing but the best accommodation. It's only noon here. I lost 3 hours while I was up in the air, so time to make more videos. 1, 2, 3.
Please subscribe to New York channel. Oh, okay, I forgot. Okay, let's do it.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you for watching the New York channel. Please subscribe. Woo!
Last time I saw Lucy and Ethel, their face masks covered more skin in their outfits.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, comment, ask some questions, and most importantly, subscribe by clicking on the button on the left. You can visit all of my New York videos by clicking on the top right, or check out my videos on other favorite places to visit by clicking on the bottom right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around the city.